Right, well, I made a video a few weeks ago about the OSMO Pocket, this one here, and it's actually this one without, obviously without the attachment. Now, this is not a video review of this or any of these cameras. I'm just talking as a person who buys them. I buy lots of cameras. I've been involved in photography since I left school in 1961 when I went to work in a photographic studio, an industrial photographic studio, in the days when we had plate cameras, and in fact 35mm cameras were really quite new then. We used flash bulbs and everything else, so I've been involved in photography for quite a long time. I've got a hell of a lot of cameras, but I'm not a professional photographer, and I don't profess to be. But I'm not stupid with cameras. Now, a lot of people have made videos on this OSMO Pocket, and the videos are brilliant. I mean, there's some fantastic videos. Most of them, the reviews that are made, are really first class. But I didn't like this camera almost as soon as I got it, and I was very disappointed in the reviews because they raved about this camera far more than was justified. The quality of the recording is good, is good, but the movement on it I don't think is that natural. It doesn't look that natural. The sound on it is mediocre, to be honest, and it has a lot of problems because you've got this microphone here, which means that you're only really getting sound if the camera is facing you doing selfies, or if you're actually filming and want to film something and get the sound that's coming in from what you're seeing, you haven't got a good sound source at all, because you've got a microphone underneath which is mostly muffled by your hand. The whole thing is just impractical. It's okay for what it is, but my bone of contention was with the videos that raved about it. I've seen very few videos that have been truly honest about the product, in my opinion. And the strange thing is, okay, so the reviews say this was great. I didn't think it was great. I mean, you've got an attachment here. This is an aftermarket attachment, and it makes it more practical now to use. You turn it on, and you can hold it. You can. It overcomes some of the problems. It overcomes the problem of how to hold it, because you're holding it now with this grip, and it overcomes one of the other problems I found, that it was so light that you couldn't really keep it steady. I mean, you had so much movement in your hand and your arm that it was impossible, and this makes it far more easier to control, but nevertheless defeats the object, in my view, of having a pocket camera, because that unit there couldn't go in my pocket. And I've seen, I think, joke reviews now of people who have got the attachments like this, then they've got their telephone sticking out the side. What the hell is that all about? I mean, these people don't know what they're saying. It's not a pocket camera. They're a far better camera. If you're going to add all these add-ons onto it, then buy something different, because there are fantastic cameras about that take much better pictures than this with stability control, and are more practical. For example, you could buy or just have a small camera. This is just an example of a Panasonic, a simple Panasonic, with one of what loosely called a toy lens, really, a plastic thing. Now, this little lens here, if you shove this in your pocket, right, you chuck it around, it doesn't come to any harm, but you just open the lens. Basically everything's in focus. It's got quite a nice wide angle, takes, I think, acceptable photographs and video. And for example, here's some video taken with this. there's also lots of other things. Alright, this hasn't got stability control, agreed. But if you just look at this as a handy camera to have in your pocket, well, I'm talking pocket cameras now, I'm not really even talking action cameras or anything. And I am specifically talking about cameras that you just shove in your pocket, and if something happens, you want to take some photographs or you want to take some video quickly, you pull it out your pocket. This one, for example, you pull it out, you slide that across, and you're now taking video. And this is an example of the quality of it.
Full 7, yeah. Full make 700, yeah? Yeah.
Right, so that's, it's not perfect, there is no stability control, but you can take video from it out of your pocket instantly. Alternatively, there's one like this. You've TomTom. Lovely. I mean, this one is really good. If you have it on one of these handheld controllers, that you can shove in your pocket, and I do. I have that in my pocket a lot, in my inside pocket, just like that. How do I, to work it, push the button, and very quickly you've got video, push the button, that's taking video, stop it. You want to change to photographs, that's changed to photographs, that's taking a photograph. You can go straight to slow motion, instantly slow motion, time lapse. Okay, no stability control, but definitely you can shove it in your pocket. And this one is really good because I take a couple of extra packs like this, already charged, push that button there, tells you that's got a full charge, the lights have come up. I take another one with it which comes in a little plastic container, and when I want to change the battery, just flip it out, put the new one in. Very handy. I'm talking pocket stuff you shove in your pocket. Or this one. Now, I've had this for a number of years, and most of my videos in the last couple of years have been taken with this. Now, this one isn't perfect either, obviously, but this does 4K. The video quality is excellent. It's got stability control because it's got a floating lens, which is physically floating. I don't think the stability control on this is much different to the OSMO. Actually, I prefer the OSMO seems to float too much, in my view. This one's got a number of faults when you put it in your pocket because it's extremely easy to push the button, get it in your pocket, and have it started. But putting that aside, you can just carry it like this and put it in your pocket. Now this will actually come off. That's just an extra. Protects the lens. So that's really the camera. And you couldn't get much smaller. So that's 4K. I don't use it for photographs, it's really just for video. Battery life is not brilliant, not a lot different from the OSMO Pocket though. Of course the OSMO Pocket you can't change the batteries. So once the battery's gone, you've had it. This one, you can. So I shove a couple of batteries in my pocket, put another one in, and I'm ready for another hour or so of shooting. So it scores on the battery situation over the Osmo Pocket. I think stability control and quality of photographs and video is I don't think there's much in it, to be honest with you. This is an action camera as such, and it's got a wider range, wider field of view, though this can be reduced and made smaller, but everything's in focus. I think it's more practical, really.
How tight is it? Is it?
Okay, so everyone says, yeah, but this takes cinematographic. All these videos, this is like they're going to use it taking professional stuff. I don't see a professional using this. There's better cameras about, for Christ's sake. Sorry, but this is mad. Then we get this. Alright, so then I watch a lot of views. Now, by the way, this thing, Osmo, when they DJI or whatever it is, when they were going to launch this, I reckon they must have given away or distributed thousands of pre-production models. And all these people were making videos, and they weren't going to make crap videos on it because, you know, they were given a pre-production model. A pre-production model actually did more than the original, the production model. This is another point. But this camera, now I bought it not long after it came out. Now, this was the other thing. This is really the purpose of the video that I'm making now. A lot of people made videos of this. There's a lot of videos out there. But most of the videos seem to be from people who have bought it themselves. They've gone out and bought it after it was launched. And the video reviews of this camera, this Nikon P1000, they seem to me to be much better reviews. Now, I watched quite a few of these reviews before I bought the camera. I had the P900, and then I watched the reviews of this P1000, and they were mixed. I think on balance, I would say that I could have easily said I didn't want to buy this, because I think the reviews were not that good on average. There were a lot of people who perhaps said really good things about this camera, but there were a lot of people who had so many downs on it that I didn't know what to do. Now the point is, I bought the camera, and I was so impressed with it. It is what it is, I know that, but it's not the best lens, obviously. Doesn't take the best photographs, I understand all of that. But it is actually a really easy camera to use. It's a fun camera to use. It doesn't seem to me as big as what I was led to believe on the reviews. Actually, it's a really nice camera. I just kind of like going to it. In fact, I just sold two long lenses that I had. The two Pro lenses, actually, the 40 to 150 Olympus Pro and the 300 Prime Pro. I just sold them because, to be honest with you, hard to use them. And this one, for what I use it for, this one covers all of that. It covers it in a nice package. It's got some really good points that they address from the P900. They changed the position of the button here for filming the video, and they made it much easier. The button that you turn the camera on and off. This ring, which now can be used for focusing, has another use. Well, you can assign it to a number of things, but in its default position, when you're on autofocus, and the autofocus I find works quite well. In fact, quite well, really well. But this ring now adjusts the exposure compensation. So as you're zooming in and you need more light, you can, at the same time, you can increase the light coming in, brighten the picture up, it just works well. I think it's been well thought out. I mean, I'm not going to review this camera because you've got this return button. You've got a lot of other features on it which I think are good, but they did seem to address some of the, or most of the points I felt were failings on the P900. The viewfinder was much improved on this one. Say the focusing was better. And also you go from manual. You've got a more standard switch from manual here to autofocus. It's just a really good camera, and once you get into it, you just feel that you've got all the controls there, and you can do telephoto shots quite easily with this camera. And when you suddenly want to do a shot, you want to take a shot, take some lovely bird shots, you can just grab the camera sitting on the side, turn it on, instantly, quicker to turn on, bang, you're there, and you focus right in, you adjust the light, and you've got everything at your fingertips. But, okay, so the point of this is, if I listen to all the reviews that these people who claim to be professional reviewers almost, I bought this after listening to them, very disappointed when they all raved and said it was great. This one, who a lot of them were not glowing about it, let's put it that way, I actually thought it was fantastic. So, the result is, I guess, I got a lot to learn about cameras, eh? What can I say?